Right now on News 3 Live at 5, crash controversy. We're talking to Metro about their new accident policy that leaves some drivers to fend for themselves after a fender bender.
Heroes Homecoming. A gold medal winner from Nevada returns home. We'll have a live report as his hometown welcomes him back.
Plus, a long and difficult journey, a transgender woman's fight to change the federal government. How her story changed a national policy. News 3 Live at 5 starts right now.
Live at 5 with Jessica Moore and Jim Snyder. This is News 3.
Good evening, everyone. Happening right now, Metro abuse and neglect detectives are investigating the death of a baby on the east side of the valley.
Officers were called to the area of Mountain Vista near Twain just before 1 this afternoon. That's where News 3's Sergio Avila joins us. Sergio, what have you learned?
Well, Jessica, Metro detectives, like you said, arriving here just about 1 o'clock here at the Park Place 1 apartments. A sergeant with Metro's abuse and neglect detail told us the initial call came in as a medical emergency to a child under the age of 1. Now, when help arrived, the child was rushed to Sunrise Hospital but died. Police cannot tell us much, only to say that this is an ongoing investigation. Sergeant Joshua Bitsko with Metro tells us that them investigating these types of deaths is not uncommon.
Our unit responds on all child deaths or any allegations of an abuse and neglect, but every child death we do respond on.
Now, Bitsko could not tell us if the parents of the child are involved in this investigation, but in speaking to some neighbors, we heard that the mother found the child and she was the one who called for help. Reporting live, Sergio Avila, News 3.
All right, Sergio, we'll check back with you later this evening. Thank you. We can confirm tonight that the body found last week buried in the Arizona desert is that of missing 53-year-old Sheila Linke. The Mojave County Coroner's Office releasing Linke's identification today. Her cause of death, strangulation with assault and blunt force trauma to the head. Police arrested this man, her roommate, Edward Kopp, last week. Detectives say he confessed to killing Linke and dumping her body near White Hills. It's a tiny desert community on the other side of Hoover Dam. Friends say Linke wanted to evict Kopp and his girlfriend.
We are getting a little taste of it out there right now. It's going to be a windy and a wet weekend.
And we saw a little preview of that today. Kevin, early morning, I think I saw a couple rain sprinkles out there.
Oh, some pretty big drops, too. Even a couple spots of hail as well. Most of it was on the west side of the valley, just a few drops elsewhere. Then we cleared off nicely. It's made for a beautiful afternoon to look at, but the wind is the weather headline for now. The rain is coming in tomorrow. This is system number 2, a much wetter, more significant disturbance that's going to slide in. It's going to clobber all of California, which is good news for them with rain. It is going to hit our mountains and our valley as well. In the meantime, before that system takes shape, we will have to deal with these winds that have backed off a couple notches, but we've still seen some southern Nevada areas gusting over 40 and in some cases 50 miles per hour. We'll show you those peak wind gusts from neighborhoods around town and talk about rainfall, lots of it, and for how long it's going to stick around in the forecast in just a couple of minutes. Jim, Jessica.
All right, we know we need it around here, Kevin, but people living up on Mount Charleston are especially worried about our rainy forecast.
They're still recovering from this summer's Carpenter 1 fire and the threat of more erosion. News 3's Denise Roche takes a look at why this community is still at the mercy of Mother Nature.
So where's the water going to go? We don't know. Nobody knows.
Becky Grismanowskis looks off her back deck at reminders of a recent flood.
Took all the trees that were in the path. You see that roof up there still in the ravine.
The rocks and dirt left over from this. A September downpour that ripped out a main street in the Rainbow subdivision in Kyle Canyon. The Grismanowskis truck pushed down the road and left high and dry in debris. What should have been a once-in-a-lifetime event, but wasn't.
I woke up at 1 o'clock and I went, oh no, it was pouring. So I came down, had to get flashlights and check the street and just to see. Problems for the mountain began last July when lightning sparked the nearly 28,000-acre Carpenter 1 fire. While no homes in Rainbow were lost, the fire did burn dangerously close. And once the rainy season began, there was nothing left to stop the water. Jim Hurya is a soil scientist with the U.S. Forest Service.
Any extreme events events where we have heavy rains, short amount of time, will still cause erosion because there's nothing to capture it.
But Hurria says steps have been taken. During the fall, the U.S. Forest Service dropped straw mulch onto 415 acres of burned land. The idea, control and absorb moisture. As for this weekend's storm system, Hurria says the best scenario would be a drop in temperatures.
Most of the storm, I understand, is going to be mostly probably snow. And so it's actually going to lay on the ground, and you're not going to see any actually flood events with that.
Nearly 8 months after the Carpenter 1 fire, there are signs of regrowth in the burned area. But it will be years before this land is fully recovered, meaning the threat of flooding will continue.
Back at the Grismanowskis home, Becky can only watch and wait, praising the Forest Service for the job they've done.
If they could, they would go out there right now, and they would divert the water, they would, but they cannot.
But knowing if the floods come, cleanup is on residents. Again, Denise Roche, News 3.
Well, let's hope there are no big problems up there this weekend. They've been through a lot, as Denise was pointing out.
They sure have.
After allegations of patient dumping last year, Ross O'Neill Psychiatric Hospital became the symbol of a flawed mental health care system in the state of Nevada.
And in response, Governor Brian Sandoval appointed a special behavioral health and wellness council to look for ways to improve the mental health care system in Nevada. News 3's Fatima Ramatullah joins us live from the Grant Sawyer State Office building where that council met. Fatima?
Today is day 2 of the meeting. The council listened to multiple presentations on housing, but again, the issue of full ERs came up again today.
The system is not working.
Hospital emergency rooms throughout the valley closed their doors to ambulances. Dr. Dale Carrison, head of emergency services at University Medical Center and a member of the governor's Behavioral Health and Wellness Council, says 4 hospital ERs were closed, and that's not uncommon.
Because of the number of mentally ill people that had been formed, put on a legal 2000.
Dr. Carrison says back in 2004, the very same issue had Clark County declaring a state of emergency. Hospitals equipped to treat regular patients were holding 120 mentally ill patients. The emergency departments now sometimes hold up to 200 of them, which is why hospitals temporarily closed their ERs to ambulances last Friday.
If you don't have the beds to take care of people, then you can't have ambulances bringing you really sick people because you don't have any way of caring for them.
This making it harder for others to get the medical care they need. Chairman of the Advisory Council, Joel DeVoskin, says they are looking for ways to solve the ER issue.
Creating additional capacity for other places to take people in crisis.
As of now, it's a lot of listening and talking. The governor expects a report with recommendations by May 31st.
He's going to get recommendations with an action plan that this can actually be addressed instead of just talking about it.
Now, we asked the council, when will we see some changes? They say that they will submit recommendations to the governor. There will be some debate after that, but we could see some changes as early as next fiscal year. Reporting live, Fatima Ramatullah, News 3.
All right, Fatima, thank you for that. There is going to be a big celebration over the next couple of days up in Reno. It starts tonight when hometown hero David Wise returns home for the first time since winning that gold medal in the men's ski halfpipe at the Olympics in Sochi, Russia. News 3's Christine Kim never wanted to miss a party, hopped on a plane to be up in the middle of it. She joins us live from where they are waiting for David Wise's arrival.
Jim, how can I miss this opportunity here? Now, this is a big deal for the locals here. You can actually feel the excitement among all the locals here. A lot of Nevada pride. This is a big deal. He's bringing home the gold. He's a local, a Reno boy here, growing up here as well. And, you know, we're expecting this whole area to be filled with people, and they're actually starting the preparations. They're putting up a stage right here behind me. And to talk more about these preparations and everything that goes on, we're joined by Brian Culpin. He's a spokesperson for the Reno International Airport. Thank you so much for joining us. So tell us, this takes a lot of time. We're expecting a lot of people here. So what did you do to put this together?
Well, it's going to be an event of Olympic proportions. We're planning a great one for tonight. You know, this is our hometown boy bringing home the gold. So we have extra security, extra customer service staff, extra TSA personnel. We're expecting hundreds of people, and it's the perfect place to celebrate.
And, you know, this statue, the ski statue right behind us, this is where David Wise will be addressing the public, talking to the media. This has a lot of history. Tell us about that.
Well, the terminal that we're standing in was actually built for the 1960 Squaw Valley Olympics for the athletes and the passengers from around the world. We have flags here representing all the countries that competed then, so this is the perfect place with that ski statue to welcome home our hometown Olympian.
And there's a lot of things planned. Give us a little sneak peek about what to expect when David Wise walks through this area with his family.
He's going to see a lot of friends, family, well-wishers. We have the ski community coming down from Tahoe. We have the band from his high school with the band teacher that was one of his teachers that's going to be here tonight. He's going to be quite surprised, but that's exactly what our community wanted to do. We are the gateway to Tahoe, and we're so thrilled to be doing this in our airport tonight.
And you're local here. You've been living here for 10 years now. You knew of David Wise before he went to the Olympics. He was a big local name. Now he's a worldwide name. What is that like for you being a local?
You know, most kids grow up here and they become black diamond skiers before they're about 9 years old, sometimes even younger. And so they grow up in the ski culture, the boarding culture. He's been a hero here for a long time, but this gold medal took him over the top. My daughter will be here. Her friends will be here. She's 13 years old. This is a hometown hero, and he's a wonderful role model for our community with his beliefs and being a father of a young daughter. What a great person to represent our community around the world.
And just a warning there's a flight before and right afterwards. There's going to be a huge crowd here. So a disclaimer, if you walk outside and there's all these people here.
Well, we'll have the governor here, we'll have the mayor of Reno here, and hundreds of people. So people coming off other airplanes are going to be really surprised by what they see, but it will show them that we celebrate our heroes here in Tahoe.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, and we'll check in with you in a little bit later, too. You'll be here throughout the day. And coming up tonight at 6, we'll have a live interview with David Wise's sister. She'll be with us in the 6 o'clock hour. For now, I'm reporting live in Reno. I'm Christine Kim, News 3.
You're in for a great night, Christine. Thank you for that. We'll look forward to reports later on.
Time for a check on your traffic now. Tom Hawley's in the studio with us with a quick check. Tom?
Jessica, I've just been cycling through the cameras, and one thing that caught my eye was down south. Look how busy it is here on the 215. These are all the motors who are heading west on the Southern Beltway. Just seems to jam up as you get right here through the I-15 interchange. That's because right when you get out of this camera shot, you get all the traffic merging off of I-15 and continuing to the west. It all comes together. It all gets pretty busy. Of course, we tend to have a little bit of traffic here just past the Spaghetti Bowl. The outbound commute, though, not bad at all this evening as you head west through the Rancho interchange. And one more look, this is the cone zone here where F Street underpass is being reconstructed. It was a real bottleneck when last time they made a big change here 3 or 4 weeks ago. Motorists do seem to be in the groove right now. They know where the new exit ramp is, so no delays. Jim and Jessica.
Okay, Tom, thanks. Coming up, Metro responds to the controversy over fender benders.
Why, they say they have no choice but to stop sending an officer to a crash unless someone is hurt.
Plus, a transgender woman fighting the feds. The story of change sparking right here where we live.